Hey, look who's there.
Jello, Jello, Jello.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, we're a
Hey,
few minutes late.
did you know your big old mic has some knobs on it?
Yeah. Got knobs.
What the fuck you think you are, a professional or something over there?
Actually, yeah. I'd say so.
Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Welcome. Sharky, how you doing, Sharky?
There's your snark, man.
There's Nadia.
Hey, Nadia.
So, I've got the lovely ladies, two of them anyway, from AOBE, which is the Association of Brownsville Educators.
Ooh, I'm going to get educated tonight.
You're going to get educated. You're going to behave yourself too, right?
I'll try to be good. I mean,
Hi,
two times in the same week, you're asking for a whole lot.
I know, right?
Guadalupe!
Guadalupe, welcome. I know. It's like, damn, twice. Is he going to be able to do this twice?
I know. It's asking for a whole lot.
Twice in the same month?
Twice in the same damn week. What are you talking about?
Hey, Felicia. She finished her 2.5-hour chemistry. Ew, yuck. Seriously?
2.5 hours of chemistry. Okay, can we say boring?
Yeah. I'm finally able to relax and laugh a lot. Good laugh.
And then it's an exam on top of it. You know, I hate the word test, well, maybe I'll share that story for when the educators get here, because if they're teachers and all, they can use that to in their classrooms.
Glad you did. I hope you did well. Did you do well at least?
Yeah, I hope you did well too.
I'm sure you did. All right, let me.
So I got a little tidbit.
You got a tidbit?
I got a tidbit. So Monday, and I know not everybody in the world likes Apple. I mean, I happen to like Apple products. Some of you people like the LG products and the that other platform. I don't know who the hell, the Android.
Yeah, those Droid people.
Yeah, the Droid people. Okay, well, Monday, Apple came out with their list of brand new products. And first off, that I'm really excited about, they're coming out with a purple iPhone. And it's a very cool looking purple. It's not like an electric purple where it's like in your face. And it's not like a lilac where it's too prissy. I mean, it's a nice compromise in between. It's a beautiful purple. I think a lot of men will carry it. I really do. But the one thing I'm kind of excited about is they came out with these little things called Air tabs. And what it is, it's about the size of, I'm not completely sure, but it looks about the size of a dime, maybe a nickel.
Hey,
it's a little round disc.
Yeah. Hey, me too.
And they, of course, they sell separate, like a little carrying case for it, like a keychain, so you can put it on your keys or on a luggage bag, so you can see. And if you happen to lose your item, you can go, oh, well, where the hell is Air tab number 1? And it'll tell you where it is, right down to roughly about 3 feet. So if you lose your keys, like my nephew loves to lose my car keys, and I told him, I said, if you lose them, we're screwed, because I only have one, and it's $800 because it's not a key.
Right.
So he lost one, but I do have one, a spare one in the safe, but he did eventually find it. But anyways, if I had that on an Air tab, I mean, we could find it within a couple of feet.
So how much do these little Air tabs cost?
Okay, so one tab is...
Being Apple, they can't be cheap.
$27.
For one.
For one tab. Or you can buy 4 for $100. So they're giving you a little bit of a price break.
Hey,
now,
Paul.
I don't know how long the battery lasts, if it's going to have like, you know how some things have like those little round batteries like watches. I don't know if it has those in it, or if you have to plug it in to charge it up like you do with every other Apple device. Personally, I'd like change out a watch battery myself. But I'm really excited about those, because I'm going to buy probably 4 of them, because they're cheaper by the dozen, just like everything else except children. Oh, well, now they're going to be cheaper by the dozen, because the government's going to give you an extra $1,000 to have the damn things.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. So anyway.
We'll save that for another show.
Yeah. So, I mean, I plan on buying 4 of them. And yes, one of them is going to go on my keychains. What the hell am I going to do with the other 3? I have no idea.
You should look up a picture. I haven't seen that purple iPhone yet.
And I'll tell you, you know, if you're kind of worried about your children, you know how everybody has like that little pocket that's about this big in jeans. Nobody knows what it's for. You can shove one of those air tabs down there and keep track of your kids. They'll never know, but you got to remember, take it out of their pants before you do the laundry.
I thought you meant put it somewhere. Okay, I won't even talk about that. But that's not a bad idea. You're right. It's not a bad idea.
Seriously. Your kid says, "Ma, I'm going to go over to so-and-so's house and I'm going to go to the park and play." All right, well, let's actually see if they're doing what they're saying they're doing.
The Apple product looks sweet. I saw them on Good Morning America this morning. Those air tabs are cool. They're like those the tile things.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. $27 a piece is a little pricey, I think.
Well, I mean, if they're going to save you from losing a set of $800 car keys or a car pog, whatever the hell you want to call it,
yeah, I know.
I think it's a great investment.
Still, when you look at it as physically, a tiny little thing like that, flat as a dime.
Well, it's not flat like a dime. It's round like one. Maybe it's a nickel size. I mean, I honestly don't know the size of it, but I mean, it's round. And and I'm just saying this. Some of the keychains can go up. The holders, like the little leather holders, can go as high as $500 for a little leather holder, and it's a Hermes holder. But of course, yeah. I'm down here at the Belkin price where it's like $15.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's get down to business and welcome Ms. Vero and Mrs. Right? Or is that a problem? Do you guys just prefer Vero and Ida?
Vero and Ida.
Is fine.
Which one's
Ladies,
Vero?
Yeah, I don't know if you met Bam yet. This is Bam.
Hi, Vero.
That's Vero. And Miss Ida is on the other side.
And Miss Ida's on my left. Okay.
How are you guys doing tonight? That's my question to ask her, right?
We're good. Sorry.
Yeah, we talked a little bit ago. I haven't talked to you guys in such a long time. And nope, he disappeared.
Uh-oh.
So I've been meaning to ask you guys, and like I mentioned earlier, I post a lot of things up having to do with education and teachers or school boards from different parts of the country and what they're doing, their policies, their fights or whatever. And I'd like to get your opinion on stuff. And the main thing going around, at least I think it is right now, everybody's talking about, well, the fight to send kids back to school or not. And I guess COVID is the main reason to do with that, right? Because people are still deathly afraid of it. What is your stance on that right now? Some people want the kids to go back to school full time, go back to normal. And then you got the other side. No, it's too soon. It's, COVID still, and they're going to get sick and infect everybody else. Where do you guys officially stand on that?
You want to go first, Beto?
So really and truly, of course, the teachers we want to be back to normal, right? We want to be back and we want to be able to have the kids there because it's easier when you're teaching to have them there and have them focused, and there's too many distractions at home, and we get all of that. But we also have the other side of where, there's still a pandemic and there's still issues and the numbers are going up as far as the people that are getting vaccinated. So it's going to be a little bit safer returning. And then you go into where you have certain schools that don't have good ventilation, don't have windows, don't have this, don't have that. And so when you put all these kids in the same room, the risk is a little bit higher. And so, I mean, we want to be back, but we just want to make sure that when we are back, that it's, the safest way possible.
So there is, okay, I thought, you want to input on that?
Yeah, well, kind of like what she touched on that. In Brownsville, I know the schools are going to be different everywhere. But in Brownsville, we've got a lot of schools that are not in the best condition. And the ventilation system, all of that, there's a lot of issues. And our concern is that everybody's case is going to be a little bit different. There's reason that some parents don't want to send their kids, and we have to respect that. We don't know why. We need to stop trying to profile everybody together, and I think that's what Gutierrez does. He thinks that really all he's worried about is just closing this gap, and we've got to find a way to bring them all back face to face. For the students where they're having issues to logging on virtually, I agree. It's not working. So it's failing for those students. But there's some students that are doing just fine logging on virtually. And there's reasons why those parents prefer that. So I think that needs to be respected. We can't put everybody in the same situation and category saying, oh, they just need to all come back. And that's what he's worried about. We don't know what some of these students have at home, who's living at home, and what's the situation with them. And as much as we want to say and whatever, yes, I think we're going back in the right direction. And the numbers tend to sometimes look a little better, and then we get a few setbacks and whatever. But the pandemic is not over. It's not completely over. And that's what they forget about. So I think that as long as we've hit in Brownsville the percentage of what is required to get funding from what the requirements that TEA has right now. So stop trying to force everyone else to come back face to face, because what they're doing in some cases, they're telling the principals, you need to find ways to increase your face-to-face numbers, those percentages. And some of these principals are getting a little too creative for their own good. On some of these students, they're withdrawing the opportunity for the students to be participating in electives and things like that. You cannot do that. You cannot ban them from taking your PE, your music, library class, or things like that. Hey, Erasmo. So on that, these people are now going a little too far in pressuring the people to come back face to face. I mean, we need to look at the whole picture.
So let me ask you guys this: if you have any input on this at all, of the kids that have gone back to school and that are there any issues with masking? The whole thought at the very beginning was, kids are not going to keep their masks on. Their kids. What are you, crazy? Has that been a problem? Have you heard of that at all being a problem?
We have actually heard that it is an issue, mainly with the students who are special needs, and the younger ones. You do have your very rare older ones that are just doing it just to see the reaction they get or whatever. But the main concerns do come from the little ones, and then special needs students who, I mean, they struggle with a lot of things, and it's a sensory thing, and it's hard for them to keep them on.
Now, what our school district's done up here is they've given the parents a choice whether they want to send their kids to school or if they want to continue over the internet learning. So they have some kids in school and some kids doing the virtual training. Now, the ones in school, yes, they have to wear masks, but what they do is you have your masks on for 2 hours. Then we all go outside and we take a 10-minute mask break. We take our masks off. We, get 10, 15 feet apart. We get some fresh air, and then we all come back in and go back to class again. That might be an idea you might want to bring up with your principal. Hey, a little mask break might not be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. I do like that. I had not heard of that.
In case you probably don't know, he's in the he's just an hour outside of Chicago, so he's in the Chicago area. So Illinois, we're talking about, and that is a good idea.
Yeah.
I had not heard of that either.
Yeah, that is good.
I
That's
mean, it
definitely
works
something
great for your older students. It works great for your middle-aged students, and the special needs kids. I get it, because I've been in the special ed classes. Obviously, I'm not near as severe as some are, but I get it, because I can't sit still for 10 minutes without going completely loopy. So, and I can't wear a damn mask for 5 minutes, let alone 4 hours.
Yeah. It's
tough.
difficult.
Yeah.
And, what
And
is
that's
it?
exactly,
How? Go ahead.
sorry. That's exactly, it's things like that, like what Bam just said. You got to get out there and you got to talk to people and stuff on what is working and what is not working.
Right.
This thing of them, you got to be back in the classroom, and then and if you don't show up, you're not going to be able to participate in these other classes. So they're only going to be allowed to participate in core classes. That's just ridiculous. And then now another way to try to entice people to come back face to face. We just found out earlier on our show that some of the campuses are doing Fun Fridays from 1:30 to 3 p.m. on Fridays. They will, the teachers have to find ways to have fun activities for the students. Really? We're risking them to pull them back in to do that? How is that going to close that gap that he's so worried about? It's just, some of these ideas that they come up with, and it's not, that we're trying to be negative on it, but they think they have all the answers, and they don't try to look out with other districts and see what's working and what's not working with them. I don't know. It's just, it gets very frustrating with that to hear some
Fun
of the
Fridays sound like a great time, but I mean, how are you guys going to try to turn a Fun Friday into, one, fun, and two, educational? Because you can only do that for so long and so much.
Yeah, and they're not given any money for it. So these teachers are going to have to put that out from their pocket.
Yeah.
So come on.
And the one of the things that is like a perfect example of what we're trying to say about talking to your teachers and asking for opinions. Say they send out a questionnaire or a survey or whatever, and somebody gives the idea that Bam just gave. Hey, like that would work.
Yeah, and obviously the whole school doesn't go at once, maybe two classrooms or.
But when you're not even asking people for like, I don't know everything. There's no way I can know everything. Right. I would have never thought of that. And now I'm like, we could do that. That's like very possible. You're outside and make sure everybody's separated, everybody take a break and breathe fresh air. And I mean, that's a great idea.
I mean, I have a mask on 15, 20 minutes a day. I feel like I need to brush my teeth 1,600 times because my mouth just feels so nasty.
It's gross, yeah.
Yeah.
And we got to wear it all day. So
yeah.
Oh, I know. And anytime any travel day for me, it's on from the moment I step into the airport. Let's say in this case 8 a.m. and it doesn't come off until, in this case, about 6 p.m. And sometimes I'll go 15 hours long travel day because of delays or whatever, and the thing is on your face the entire time. The only way to take it off your face is to, if you're at the airport, is to have a drink or a little snack, and then you can take it off and kind of breathe a little bit and eat. But so question I have, are all the schools back in class for a set amount of hours? Is it a normal full day? Is it just a bunch of hours, or how is that working?
So the schools, every school is all day. And then of course it's only for the kids that are there. And then the virtual lessons are throughout the day as well. So the kids are logged in all day, and then there's the virtual, but it's a regular day. Bus routes, everything is already regular, like it's regular.
So I want to ask and say what you were maybe trying to get at was, let's say somebody does bring up that idea. The next part of it is, all right, who's going to put it into play? Who's going to make it work? Who's going to put it out there and say, I don't know, what is that process to make that happen? Is it a major task, or Our teachers just allowed to, do what they want?
No, we're not allowed to do what we want. No, we would have to ask for permission from the campus administrator, because essentially it's a break in the learning day, right? In the learning part of the day, and you have to schedule it in, especially because you have the kids at home that you would have to have them doing something while you're outside. They could be on a learning platform, Prodigy or whatever, which is a game, but it's educational, and that could be for 10 minutes while you go outside and do whatever and then come back. But of course, that would have to be discussed at the campus level. And then a lot of principals won't do it unless they have the okay from above them. So it's kind of like you gotta go up the ladder.
But
So
doesn't it,
it's going to be a 32-year long process to get approval for a 5-minute break throughout the day.
Pretty much in Brownsville, I could see that happening. But actually, Bam, if you could get me the info of which district is doing that, I would like to reach out to that school district and see, how they're working that out. Because
the one that I know for sure is doing it is my best friend Kathy. They send their kid to a private Catholic school, so I know their school does it because she was telling me about it. And I'm like, that's a great idea. It really is. Now, as far as the public district, I don't know if they are or not, but it's a great idea and they should.
A great idea, yeah.
It is. I do. I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
That's a really good
and
one.
it seems like such a simple idea,
right?
that shouldn't cost any money, right?
Extremely simple.
Extremely cheap. You don't have to go out and buy anything. You don't have to order any pieces or parts or paper or anything. You just,
I mean, it would not only make the kids happy, it'd make the teachers happy too to get a mask off for 5 minutes. It would boost morale.
And it gives the kids a brain break.
Yeah, exactly.
And now
I think it's more productive than Fun Friday.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say maybe this is pushing it too much, but kind of maybe they can do something like air traffic controllers, where air traffic controllers every hour they have to take a 15-minute break, so they only work 45 minutes. And then when they come back, they go to a different computer terminal that they're not sitting at the same one all day.
Yeah, that's pushing it.
Oh,
So I'm not saying every hour, but I'm thinking, if it's an 8-hour day, maybe every 4 hours, like do one middle of the day or mid morning or late afternoon or something like that.
Like 2 breaks.
but you see, if you add up the time, it's the same amount of time, or it's actually less time that they would be losing of instruction compared to this Fun Friday that they're going to start doing. So,
I mean, you can do 15-minute breaks that they do at most jobs, right? Like a 15-minute break in the morning and the 15-minute break in the afternoon. That's 30 minutes of the day, but it's better spent than 2 hours of.
Well, and if you think about it, a child is at their job. School is their job. So they're there 7.5, 8 hours, maybe 9 hours a day, depending on extracurricular activities or whatnot. So, they are there that's their job. They need those breaks.
Mm-hmm. Brain break. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, it seems that I'd be interested to know so who would have to introduce this idea?
The teachers.
And we can actually take it to like administration with the deputy superintendent of curriculum, because the superintendent doesn't have time to meet. But we won't go there. But with the deputy to present it, because like I said, sometimes it could be simple ideas, but that's one of the things that this administration does in Brownsville is they don't reach out to hear the different ideas that the people have out there. And that's what's so frustrating.
And they're not receptive when you give them the idea.
Well, of course not. They're stuck in their ways where my way is the only way and it's my way or the highway. Well, guess what, dude? It's not the highway. There are people out there, maybe not near as educated as you are, but they have better ideas than you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I haven't been in school in such a long time. Is there still a recess period?
I think that's more or less in the grade school area.
We have in elementary, we have PE. Pre-kinder and kinder do have kind of a little bit of leeway as to going out and taking some time for the kids with the little bitty ones. But once you get to first grade, that's gone.
Wow, school has definitely changed over the 40 plus years I've been out of it.
Yeah, there's no reason.
So now let's jump over to the other thing we touched on earlier. So the BISD received a gift, should we call it a gift, from Elon Musk,
Mm-hmm.
to the tune of how much did you say that was? 2.5, roughly 2.5.
2 point something. I can't remember the exact amount. 2 point.
I want to say it was, 2.4, I think.
4.
So my question for that was, in your opinion, where would that be well spent, or where should it be spent on what?
My
Raises.
me?
Yeah,
For me, it would be at the front line. Raises for the people working in the front line, providing new technology for all the teachers and all the kids, everybody that is missing the technology, fixing up facilities that have restrooms that are almost 40 years old and are barely functioning, that don't have good ventilation, windows are falling apart, doors are falling apart, what are those called, the tiles in the ceilings are falling apart or all stained. I mean, there's so many places that it could be spent that would benefit both the staff and the kids, and we just don't know where it's going to go.
Is there, how is something handled like that? Who is there? Someone that's put in charge of that money? Is there an oversight committee that gets to distribute, or some? They have to be, they have to be. It has to be accounted for. In other words,
You would hope so, that there would be a committee. What the superintendent did comment on to the Channel 5 was that they were going to look into putting it into career technology programs. That's what he has said so far. And again, without reaching out to the employees of what can, what is actually needed. What do you think they might need? I agree. Raises would be a portion should go to the raises, because as of right now, what they're presenting for next year is a 2%, possibly 3% raise. That to us is very low. That's not good enough. Not for all these employees who have, stuck it out in one of the roughest years public education. And, I mean, it's been a very difficult year. We've had the highest retirement rate or resignation rate that there has ever been so far. And because people are just, they can't handle it. So we need to really show some appreciation to the employees who have stuck by their students and stuck by BISD. So a 2% raise is not good enough for them. So some of the other districts have been upstate. We even talked about that earlier, up by El Paso at Socorro School District. They are giving a 4% plus a bonus at the end of the school year in May of $1,000, another bonus in December of $1,000. So, and they're not a wealthy school district, and they don't have no Elon Musk money that like we just came into.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but Brownsville really does need to step it up, and they need to start taking care of their employees.
So when you talk about, you're right. When you talk about let's say it is that figure, 2.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
Will that go? Is that enough for a raise that you would propose or anyone would propose to go around for everyone? Is that enough to go around? Even 2.4 is not a whole lot of money in the large scope of things.
No, it's not, but they do still have a healthy fund balance to be able to do that.
Oh, okay.
So, and actually, I looked up the amount. It's 2,412,000. So yeah, it was 2.4. So it's not enough for what we want, because actually we think that the employees deserve a whole lot more, but we have to be realistic. But like I said, there is a healthy fund balance. They need to also look at all other programs. They've been putting in money into certain things that, again, they think it's best for the district, without checking with the frontline people. There's been still a lot of misuse of money, in our opinion. And that's something that they need to look at, because they need to shift their priorities, because we're losing a lot of good people. They're leaving the profession, and especially when they don't feel that they're appreciated, and then we're not taking care of them.
Yeah.
On top of that, I mean, so many people are putting in money out of their own pocket to be able to teach remotely, because the district dropped the ball. They were not fully prepared for it. And have they looked at maybe possibly reimbursing them a percentage of what they've had to put in for instructional material?
So they're not getting reimbursed for that? They're not getting reimbursed for that?
Oh, teachers don't get reimbursed for any money that they spend, and they spend quite a bit.
For some reason, I thought if you bought some kind of teaching aids or materials and that you actually use in class, that you could just say, hey, here's my receipts or whatever, do the report. And
no, all it does is make their job easier, because they have the tools they need.
So in Illinois,
what are some of the things, Beto, that you purchase? Beto, like, so he can know, like, some of the things that you purchase out of your pocket.
So one of the things, because I'm not that technology savvy, right? Activities and stuff online, they're not free. A lot of them are not free. And so for like Nearpod, so most of the platforms that we have with the district are like your basic, either the free one or like the very basic plan that's very minimal in what it gives you, right? And so if you want to be able to get full use of it, you have to pay for it. And so we pay for subscriptions for different platforms. We buy activities that are already made, like me for myself, because I'm not that technology savvy. It's easier for me to purchase than to spend all this time trying to figure out how to make the activity or whatever. And so I have to buy that stuff so that I can move on with my lesson and not be wasting time with that. Because I mean, we still have lesson plans. We still have paperwork for like our special ed paperwork. We have like all the other stuff on the side that they ask us for. So I buy a lot of activities that are already made, that are interactive, that I can use virtually. And those are not cheap either. And so platforms mainly, and already made virtual interactive activities is the main thing. This year I didn't spend a lot on decorating, because number one, I don't know if COVID sticks to any of the stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to spend money on any of it and then have to throw it away. So I'm not going to spend money. I put butcher paper, which is what they had at school, and what's it called? I can't think of the trim, the boardette. And that's pretty much it. I didn't really spend on decorating this year, but usually I spend about $400 or $500 in the beginning of the year to decorate my classroom, to make it look nice. But I was not going to spend that and then throw it all away.
Wow, so that's a lot of money to put out of pocket.
I'd like to know how much the superintendent pays out of his own personal pocket.
Oh, I'm right around 0.
Yeah.
So one question, the one comment that's coming up here, and I'm going to ask, in Illinois, there's an Illinois lottery, just like there's a Texas lottery. all the proceeds, guess where they go? To the Illinois to education.
The school districts, yep.
To the school districts. Does Texas have something like that also? Here's Shonda's comment. Aren't the profits from the Texas lottery supposed to be going to public education? Is there a watchdog group monitoring that?
They were supposed to originally, and that's very interesting. Remember, at the very beginning, they had said that that's what it was going to go to, and I can guarantee you, it's not.
If it is, your district has yet to see it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, just like in a lot of the things, you know, the money that is always supposed to supposedly go to public education or education, we don't see it.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. But I mean, my gosh, I'm glad that they are doing it over there in Illinois, and that it's
Well, at least
working.
that's what we believe's going on with it. I personally don't know.
Yeah,
but that's what we believe's happening.
It happens. Whether or not it's getting put to good use is a whole other story.
Well, that's true too.
But the money is making it there. That's something that was
Wow.
looked at many years ago, and it's going there. The problem in Illinois was it was not being used the right way, and you know, money would disappear.
There's a big shocker.
You ever hear about that happening?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So what's going to happen for the rest of the year? Well, actually, I mean, technically the school year is almost over. When does it end?
June 10th.
June 10th. And it starts up again in August?
June 14th, summer school. And then in August, it's August, I believe, like the 14th or something like that, around there.
And does it seem like more of the same will continue as far as
Virtual?
Yeah.
So the kids are only out of school for pretty much 2 months for summer. Holy cow. I remember when we got like 3.5 months.
Remember, it used to be that. I remember when I was in school.
Yeah, 3.5 months.
We had the longer summers.
Yeah.
You know, we'd have 10 days at Easter, 3 weeks at Christmas. Yeah, I mean, we had it made back in the day.
I remember getting out of school in June, sometime in June. It was early June. And then
we didn't go back to like
September.
Almost the end of September.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's actually some districts upstate in Texas that are even making their summers a whole lot shorter, only having a month off. Yep. So there, I was like, wow, my gosh, you know, these people are just going to burn out.
I mean, if you're doing that, you just may as well do the Japanese thing and you're in school 365, 7 days a week.
Yeah. So you guys
Getting
mentioned and you talked about not going there, talking about Mr. Gutierrez and how he's not been that accessible. Is that what I understand? Yeah. And
I mean, we've never made it we haven't made it a secret about how we feel on the decisions that he makes for the district and his leadership skills. And so he's not too happy that we were pretty vocal about that. We don't agree on what he's doing now. I mean, we call it like it is. And if this is what the majority of our members are telling us, it's not that I don't like him personally. I don't like him as a superintendent. And because of the decisions that he makes, I believe he handled the beginning of this pandemic in one of the worst ways possible. Yeah. Forcing people to be at work when they could have worked remotely, and all because he just didn't want to budge on it. And, you know, I think he has an ego problem. And I've never hidden how I feel about him as a superintendent. And I think he just doesn't like that. And, you know, we do have, we started a petition with a vote of no confidence on his leadership skills. and he wasn't happy about that either. But that's what he has proven as a superintendent. So he ignores emails and calls. He does. And I don't know if he's got issues with the fact that the leadership at AOBE is mostly women, or that we just call him out like we see it. And we
Or
don't.
that we're women that call him out.
Yeah, and maybe he doesn't like that. So, and that's fine. He doesn't have to take our meetings. He doesn't have to answer our emails. I have absolutely no problem with that, because then what we do is, if you don't want to hear it, we're going to find other ways. So we go to his bosses, which are the school board members, and we'll take our concerns directly to them.
And how's that been working out, going to the board members?
We've gotten, there are some school board members that are very receptive and do listen to the concerns and the issues, and always take our calls. And there are some also who do not, and that's fine. That's their right. We're not going to give credit where credit is not due. And yeah. I don't know. It's just maybe we're a little too blunt or a little too honest, but I'm not going to tell you you're doing a great job if you're not doing a great job.
Of course not.
I'm not going to tell you thanks for advocating for so-and-so when you didn't do it. And tell you.
And wouldn't it be to his advantage to have a dialogue with you guys, like a constant dialogue, constant communication, constant discussing of the issues? I mean, isn't that part of his job?
One would think.
Absolutely.
To work and communicate with the unions to try to improve things.
Yeah, that's actually in policy.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you have an ego that gets in the way, it is what it is. So
misogyny sounds like.
Monday?
A bit of misogyny sounds like.
Yeah. And and I've mentioned it to him when I was trying to set up a meeting, and I did mention it. We have to say how it is, and that's it. I mean, I can't make it up. I can't tell you, hey, Marisa. That's a great lady right there. But yeah, I mean, I told them that I'm not bringing concerns that I'm making up on my own. Yeah. I'm bringing concerns and ideas that are coming from our members, which are employees of BISD.
Right.
So it's only to benefit them, but it didn't register, honestly. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. That open door policy, I guess, is only open for certain people. And you have to maybe praise him for a good 10 minutes before he can hear your ideas.
Yeah.
No can do.
It's sad that you have to deal with. I would say you have to deal with, but it's like you're not even allowed to deal with, kind of.
Right.
That there's someone there with that attitude, and
you're fighting an uphill battle.
It's all right. We go right over his head, and we go right to his bosses.
And that's what you need to do. If your boss doesn't do it, or you don't get any satisfaction there, you got to climb the damn ladder until you get resolution.
Absolutely. We represent too many members to just give up because he doesn't want to hear it.
Yep.
We'll catch up to him sooner or later. That's all I gotta say.
It's sad that he doesn't want to do his job, but he wants the paycheck.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm sure he's getting a healthy paycheck.
Oh,
so very healthy. He makes over $400,000 a year.
And he wants to do absolutely nothing for it.
Very healthy paycheck.
And not only that is he one of the most highly paid superintendents, but he created 2 positions when he came on board. He created 2 positions of 2 deputy superintendents, brand new positions that have never been at Brownsville ISD before. So he actually brought in 2 people that do all his work for him. And he's just
I knew that was coming somehow. I knew that was going to come.
So
And
those positions are
just between those 3, that's $1 million.
Wow.
Right under $1 million.
mackerel.
with benefits and everything. It's very upsetting because we've been in attrition for 4 years. Positions have been closed, not filled because of this. But those positions were created and filled, and he's just there to, I guess, I can't say look pretty, but he's just, I guess, there to get that paycheck.
VAW says he makes what the board members allow him to do.
Yep.
So
and that's
what
something
is,
we're working on. We need to have that looked at. It's not right.
so
And he worked it into his contract that when the teachers get a raise, he gets a raise. So
ask me if I really want to raise.
Yeah, of course not.
I'm going to go with yes, but at the same time, no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Obviously, you want to raise, but knowing he's going to get more money because you do, it's like.
Because my raise is going to be what, 500
And his is going to be 5,000
or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, excuse my ignorance on this. What is the term of his contract? How long?
So it's,
I believe
think
he
it's
had a
3 years.
3 years.
Right, Ida?
correct. He has a 3-year contract, and but he didn't reach his 1 year into the job where they gave him another year
Extend. Yeah,
contract.
I
So they
remember
extended
that.
it.
And that's when they voted in also that he gets a raise tied into our raise and all that.
Wow. So, what is the remedy for this?
You got to vote in people.
Yeah.
If
people
your
that are
superintendent's anything like ours, it's an appointed position by the board, by the school board. It's not like voted in position, correct?
I believe they vote him in. I mean, it is the school board that makes that decision.
Yeah, they have to approve. They have to approve on the, they go through the whole selection process and this and that. It's politics. The majority is going to, whoever has majority is going to decide, oh yeah, we want this guy that Edinburgh's about to get rid of. And that's what they did.
Yeah. What is the entry level pay for a new teacher going into BISD? I guess on average, I'll say.
I want to say it's like 45, maybe.
I want to say low 40s. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not. It's around there.
And a tenured teacher, where should they be at?
Roughly where middle, like about.
Should we be? Or based on what the district has us at?
According to the district, where are you supposed to be? Someone 10 years in.
It's probably maybe like $4,000 or $5,000 more.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, you cap out after 30 some years at 60 some thousand.
Wow. See, I was thinking around the 60 figure or close to it at 10 years, maybe.
Wow, no.
That's at 30 plus. Capped.
And then you're maxed out.
And then there's no more raises, no matter how many more years you work after that. You're stuck at that that dollar amount unless they reconfigure their salary ladder.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Something is definitely wrong with this system here. And getting new board members in, I guess I would imagine that's part of the battle also, is getting the right board members who care, who are in this not just to not to make money. I mean, I know the board members are not paid these positions. Is that correct?
That's correct. They are not.
And what
They're
I'm
not
trying to
supposed to
understand.
get paid.
Not supposed to get paid. So my question would be, why is the enthusiasm to pay somebody $400,000 or more? I mean,
Especially when they have a reputation of pure caca.
Well, it wasn't only the enthusiasm of the 400. It came with the 2 deputies. So really it was $1 million. What
Yeah,
during
it's very upsetting.
while we're in attrition.
yeah. Well, I definitely understand that frustration, and I don't know.
That's the frustration you see.
Yeah.
Well, I try to smile, but that's the frustration because, a lot of people have been struggling because of the attrition. Some positions, some very, very needed positions are not getting filled because of this. But, it was very upsetting from the very beginning. And we called it out at that board meeting. The very next board meeting they had, when those 2 deputies came on board, we called them out on it. It's like, aren't we in attrition? But yet we're creating 2 brand new positions that, even at that, they were not filled from within. It was people that came from the outside.
Yeah.
CFO.
Yep. That he
CFO came from the outside. The employee benefits director came from the outside. When we have people from within, if we are really looking at attrition, then you have to work from within with the staff that you have from within. Those were a lot of the well-paid positions. The CFO also makes it pretty dime on that. And he came from the outside. It's just not right. That's why I'm so disgusted with this superintendent and how he works, because that's not doing what's best for BISD. You're taking from your teachers, from your employees that have given their entire career to BISD, to take this outsider that has not proven himself. No.
Yeah, like title. I think it's a movie. There's something stinks in Denmark, and something smells very bad. And
it's usually cow crud.
And it's and it's frustrating that. I mean, you can't. Okay, so then what? There's just no confidence. The vote of no confidence. What can that? Except for, yes, we have no confidence in you. I mean, what can that actually do?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to present it to the board members. Okay. We're going to ask if it could be put on an item on the agenda. As an item on the agenda, they have to approve in order to put that on there. But what we want is the discussion of it, that over 1,200 people from Brownsville signed this saying that they have no confidence in him as a superintendent. So we want to have that discussion. And for the superintendent to say, oh, well, no, I'm not going to meet with you all and this and that, and that he was upset about that, about the vote of no confidence that we have. I said, well, let's sit down and talk. let's sit down and talk and let's discuss it. There's nothing
Yeah,
on there that is not. You show us where we put something on there that was not true.
Mm-hmm.
Because 1,200 people signed it saying that they agreed with it. And, he said that he won't sit down until we take that down.
I'd tell him, like I told one of my apartment people, I'll take your rent or I'll take your salary, put it in escrow until you show me you're actually earning what we're paying you. Then we'll give you your damn salary.
Yeah, nice thought, but that's doesn't sound like something that's.
I had to do that to those apartment people out in South Dakota. Boy, you'll be surprised how fast they get up off that ass and get something done.
Wow, so this is a definitely a big hurdle. Nadia says, pardon me, what is the difference in charter school, example, idea schools, superintendents, term limits, board members, advisors? What is the difference between those and those of BISD?
Actually, I don't know on the charter schools what if the superintendents have term limits there. I'm not too familiar
They don't
with the charter schools.
Their whole structure is completely different. They don't have to follow as many guidelines or rules or laws and the way that a public entity does, because they're more of a private, so they can get away with a little bit more. So they don't have like what we have, the way our board is structured and all that, where we have like elections and the city votes for him. This is all like private, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
Yeah, it's a different system. What are the needs that are in the school, in the classroom right now? What is it that the teachers need? What is it that the kids need? What is the status of supplies? Teaching materials or electronics or technology. I mean,
so technology, I can tell you for sure, is one of the things that's lacking. There's many, and it kind of depends on where you are in the city that you would know what they're missing, right? And so a lot of teachers have begun to be creative and try to request the stuff through Donors Choose. And, they're able to get iPads and different things like that for instruction, which that way I don't have to buy it, right? It's being donated by big businesses and stuff like that. But it's kind of hard to say what is needed, because what is needed in the southmost area is not necessarily what is needed in the northern part of Brownsville. And so you'll find schools where kids can't afford to bring the supplies, so the teachers provide them, and then you'll go to another school that has no little technology or really old technology that's outdated and ghosted and like whatever it is that they do with the computers. And then you go to another campus that every single room has a like the touch screen big whatever they're called, like a
Monitors?
It looks like a TV, but it looks like a TV, but it's a touch screen that has like a computer screen almost, right? But it's huge. Yeah. You'll go to a campus that every classroom has that, and then you'll go to a campus where no classroom has that. So it just depends on what part of the city you're looking at and how that campus administration is putting the money out or what they're buying. It's really hard to tell. Which is why a survey to teachers would help the district know what is needed at specific campuses. But
it's like
a smart board, but it's a touch screen, where the older smart boards you would have to connect to the computer, and it was like it literally looks like a huge TV, but it's a smart board.
I see. And what about basic supplies? Papers, pencils, staplers, construction paper. I mean, all those basic things that I imagine get used on a daily basis over there. Is there any
Yeah,
shortage
so-
of that?
Yeah. So pencils. I mean, a lot of times you can ask at the campus if they have, and they'll give you what they have. But yeah, so pencils, colors, notebooks, those things that are used daily and do run out or break or tear or whatever. Those are the things that are used the most in the classrooms. The pencils. Chico's back. He wants to talk. Pencils, crayons, paper. Those are the main things.
But are those things in short supply? Are you having to put out of your pocket for those basic things as well?
Well, so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes that depends on the campus too. Like if we have a supply room, and you can put in a request, and then whatever they don't have, then of course you would go buy.
But there's some campuses that are even they're having to buy their own PPE
Yeah, everything.
because
Yeah, and I haven't even touched on PPE. Was the next part of it? You know, how are we doing on masks, gloves, Lysol spray, or whatever it is that they're using right now? Wipes. You know, what's the supply? What does that look like?
There's still
some
campuses
campuses,
that haven't gotten anything, Manny.
yep. And then I mean, I think it boils down to administration, and how they're handling their funding, because some of them they already exhausted what was given to them, or they chose other things. But there's some that are having to purchase it out of their own pocket, because when they go ask for it, they just say, no, we don't have any more. They haven't sent it. And so the teachers need it. They have to get it in order to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what they're dealing with. So some of them are having to buy their own PPE.
Yeah, I didn't mean for this to turn into such a gloomy conversation, but the more the more we get into it, it's like the more depressing it gets. It's like, holy
I know,
cow.
right? It's like, I want to give you a good news.
So here's this, Manny.
I've been to funerals that have been more fun than this.
So it's depressing, right? And you just feel like you're being drugged down. Now imagine that as the person who's actually living it, and then you hear at a board meeting how horrible you're doing, how your scores are horrible, how you're neglecting your students, how you're not doing your job contacting the kids, how it's your fault they're not passing, how it's your fault because you're not calling the parents enough. It's your fault they're not on campus. It's your fault they're not going to pass the test. I mean, is it any wonder that people are leaving?
Yeah. Morale it's got to be at such a low point.
I don't even
Well,
think
if you ask the superintendent, though, everything's great.
Man, that's got to change. That's now it says reams of copy paper is necessary too, because if I'm not mistaken, each teacher has a code for the copier, and there's a limit on paper usage.
Seriously?
That also depends on the campus. Yeah, that also depends on the campus.
Wow.
So if you need 500 pages to spread out or whatever, so you have a limit. You can't just use whatever paper you need.
I'm sorry, that's ignorant. That just makes absolutely no damn sense to me. I mean, I'm not the most intelligent MF in the world. I say this a lot, but I do claim to have a whole lot of common sense, and that makes no sense.
I mean, and it's almost like it's almost unbelievable. Like, I'm like, how can that be? And
once again, they expect you to do a job and not give you the tools to do it.
But we're not supposed to complain, Bam. We're not supposed to complain. We're supposed to be happy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I tell them to kiss my ass, and that's an all-day event. So pack a damn lunch.
So, so Vero is an actual. You are a teacher. You're an educator. What do you teach? What grade do you teach?
I am a special education math resource teacher, so I teach 1st through 5th grade.
So, she knows. I mean, she's in the trenches, and I know that she passes things along. And as other people do, they call. I'm sure they call anonymously and say, "Please keep me anonymous," because the fear, Bam, is teachers get, well, not only teachers, but they get retaliated against.
Oh yeah,
You
against a place where retaliations against company policy, but yet it
Exactly.
happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. Hostile work environment, and let me tell you, you make it hostile on me, MF, it's going to be 10 times worse on you.
Yeah, it's definitely. Oh man, so 3 years, huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
I this is something where only leadership can come out and has to talk to everybody. And I've been the GM of a particular office for an airline, and it all starts with the GM, with the leader. I mean, he's the way. Even if there is morale problem, you know what? You got to come out and talk to your people, and you try to raise spirits, and you're supposed to try to help. What you don't got to do is when everybody's down, is kick them while they're down. And if you don't understand that difference, then you got no business being in that position of leadership.
I agree.
I think Billy Joe sang a song about kick them when they're down.
Oh man, that superintendent get paid over $400K. Did you know what? Yeah, he found out tonight. He did find out tonight. So it's the president. Yeah, pretty much. He gets paid what?
It's pretty close.
Yeah, what
Mhm.
any U.S. sitting president would make.
No, I think the U.S. sitting president only gets $250 a year.
No, I thought it was. Why did I think it was 4? For some reason, I thought it was 4.
I think it's $250.
When I was cafeteria lady for 15 years, I would work 2 jobs, but I was so surprised to meet teachers at my same campus that moonlight. Yeah, I can imagine. And that's a whole other problem, because, and I imagine some of them do that. They moonlight a second job, or who knows, a third perhaps, or they're draining their spouse, their partner's incomes. Also, I need help to buy this and buy that. But now they're tired even more because they got to work another job.
You hit the nail on the head. And if my husband was sitting next to me, he would be like, Manny, my wife needs therapy. I cannot walk into Walmart without my husband trying to deter me away from office supplies. Because it's I go crazy. And then on top of that, you have the student that walks in with the torn shoes, and you're like, oh, they can't be, like, come on. So then you go buy them shoes. You know what? They don't have pants. Those pants are really tight. It looks like it's cutting. Let me go get him some pants. Oh my God, that shirt is too small. That's too tight. Let me go get him it's never ending. And you know what? We do it because we love our kids. And yes, it hurts our pocketbook. And yes, it takes out of the mouth of my children. And my husband's really good about not saying. And I have family that's amazing, that if I say, hey, does anybody have a size 10, size 12, something looks fairly new, I'll bring that to school. My coworkers are like, did you buy him shoes, Borrego? Yes. Here's $5. Like, this is what we do because we love what we do and we love our kids. It is unfortunate that it is not respected and it's not appreciated.
Yeah, and that's another part I was going to bring up, which is here, bam, my engineering teacher had to buy ink for our plotter, $2,000. Holy crap! Because the district ran out of money. Supposedly, same district also spent $2 million on a new scoreboard for our 6 crappy football teams. I know they don't mean crappy necessarily, but
priorities. I mean, did you really need that $2 million scoreboard? No, maybe a $600,000 would have been good enough. So what? You still got to change everything by hand. Big effing deal.
Mm-hmm. It's all about priorities. You said it right there. And I mean, the employees are not the priorities here right now.
Obviously, neither are the students, but F in football is F football.
Yeah, when they're talking sports, how much money gets directed that way. Yeah, I know it's part of the curriculum.
Is it
and,
though? I mean, is it really though?
I believe it is. Athletics, right? I don't know
Gym
unless
is
I'm
part
wrong.
of the curriculum. Football, no, that's an extra school
It's an
activity.
extracurricular.
Thank you. That was the word I was thinking.
Extracurricular, yeah.
So yeah, it's not part of the curriculum. It's part of fun. It's part of the manly thing. Oh, got to get out there and beat that ass. We got to kill that other school. It's all about that rivalry.
And in a way, that should boost morale. Also, get your students and the families into sports and the competition, and the rivalries with the other
let me
schools.
make a little comment about football. My son probably wants to play football, and that's great. And I'll be there to support him. But they get a really huge stipend. Coaches do, and as a chess sponsor, we didn't get a very good stipend, and we have practice Monday through Friday. I'm not doing it this year, so I should say had. We had practice Monday through Friday, tournaments every other Saturday, all day long. It is year round, so it starts in about September and it doesn't end until May. We have to have fundraisers. We have to have all these things. And we get about $1,000 for the whole year. And football coaches who coach how many months a year?
4, maybe 5.
If even that.
They get about a little over 10,000, I believe, is the stipend.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
they're all willing and gung ho to cut music program and keep football or basketball, but we're going to cut music. Well, music doesn't teach you anything. Oh no, I beg to differ. Music is all about math. I was a band geek. I learned more about math in music class than I did in math class.
Yep.
No, but Beto, say how much the stipend was for chess.
It was about $1,000 for the whole year.
For the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
From September to May, they have tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I mean, Brownsville is well known for the chess teams that they have.
Yeah, I mean, we took our teams to nationals 4 times in Tennessee. So
wow.
Nationals. Ask me if we ever got our picture on the website. If we were recognized one time in all those years. I mean, it's our kids work really hard too. Our kids practice really hard too. They should have been recognized. There should have been a big deal made,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
but it's a sport, because I can tell you that sport, chess, works your brain hard. And those kids sometimes would play one round almost 2 hours.
It's chess.
That's
chess.
1 round. There's 5 rounds a day. 5 rounds a day. So chess tournament starts, we get there at about 7, and we don't leave sometimes until 7. How long does a football game last?
Yeah, an hour. Technically, an hour.
And
couple
this,
hours for
what
the
I'm
whole thing.
telling you, the practice and all that doesn't include all the paperwork that comes with the fundraising, with the registering all the kids, with the ordering the food for every single tournament, with making sure they all have the same shirt and ordering shirts. And that doesn't come with all of that. That aside.
And what about
we only
traveling
got
to do they have tournaments at different locations? Do they?
Yes, we would travel all the way to McAllen sometimes.
Yeah. Well, this has been. I mean, I knew things were bad, but this has been very eye opening. Very eye opening.
Hi, Hilda.
When my foster kids would leave for home, I would donate all the uniforms, almost new to the school where they were attended, shirts and pants. And that's what I was going to say earlier. Besides the expense of, basic supplies that you need and use, was what you said. You have a heart, right? And you can't see the kid with the broken shoes or the torn shirt or the pants with holes in them and stuff. And how can you not want to open your heart, and you don't even think twice about it?
No.
And I know what you're talking about. You don't think twice. You're like, I can freaking, I'm blessed. I can afford $5-10 to buy that kid's shirt, or the $10 for the shoes or whatever.
And of course, I'm not saying I go buy like Tommy Hilfiger. I'll try to buy something pretty nice at Walmart or whatever it is that I can, because I'd rather buy 3 shirts for $20 than 1 shirt for $20.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's not even. Yeah, it's. That's. Yeah, this has been very eye opening. I knew it was bad, and I just maybe. I was ignorant to the fact of how bad it really, really is.
And now you're educated.
I got educated tonight.
Yep. Sometimes ignorance is actually bliss. It really is.
And now we got Elon Musk that gave BISD $2 million. Good and scary at the same time. They better say where it was spent. We need receipts. Yeah. I mean, at the absolute very least, start handing out some stipends to all these teachers. Hey,
absolutely. And we will be making public record request to find out where this money went.
Because call it a stipend / bonus or whatever you want to call it. Here's $2,500 for everybody.
Yep.
And this is free money to do that with. And then stock up whatever's left over, buy a ton of paper, or I don't know, however the purchasing is done. Obviously, somebody's not doing things the right way, or they're paying way too much money. There's a company that I know. I'm not going to say if I work for them or not. They bought a wheelbarrow, a Rubbermaid wheelbarrow for moving water. And I saw that he's like, yeah, we got the bill. I said, oh yeah, how much was it? He's like, what do you think? I'm like, $70, maybe $100. It was over $400.
A wheelbarrow to move water. Don't you think maybe a flat cart and 5-gallon buckets would have been more sufficient? I
got on my phone and I found the same freaking wheelbarrow for like $125.
Wow.
And and that goes back to, I remember the military, complaining about, they paid $600 for a hammer, or they paid $125 for a stapler,
and $20,000 for a toilet seat.
Yeah, and wasteful spending. You would hope that they got somebody who really gives a crap. It's not just say, oh yeah, we're a multi-million-dollar entity, the BISD, so we're going to pay more for stuff just because we have it. I mean, I'd be in there I'd have all these catalogs, and I'd be online with Amazon everywhere to buy stuff cheap. It might take a little longer, but you know what? I want to save us 80% of that money. And if they don't have someone there doing that, then that's a whole other problem in itself. That's a whole other problem in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of bad management. A lot.
Yeah. Oh, incredible. Ladies, I don't want to keep you any longer. It's just about midnight here. It's been very enlightening. Very, very enlightening.
Well, I got a couple of quick things for the girls.
Okay, go ahead. Ladies.
Girls, ladies, whatever. Anyways, so I said before y'all got here that I was going to tell a quick story. When I was in college, I had this professor that would say, "Oh, well, we're going to have our final test on this Friday," and I'm like, "Don't call it a test. I don't like the word." There's people out there that don't like the word test. They just freeze up. They forget everything. It's a thing. She didn't get it. And I'm like, if you call it a test one more effing time, I'm not going to be here on Friday. I refuse to come. I said, it is a knowledge retrieval session. Didn't get it. I mean, it just went right the F over her head. And I'm like, don't, if you call it, if I hear the word test one more time, I won't be here. She didn't believe me. She kept on calling it a damn test. I didn't show up. So I went from like a B plus down to like a C minus. But I still passed.
Yeah, I had, I did not do well in algebra. I failed. I had to go to summer school. Passed it in summer school.
My favorite. Algebra is my favorite.
I hate math.
And then I took geometry, and I was failing that. And that's fun. I found it fun. I don't know, something didn't compute.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd go every day. I went to class every freaking day. And he says, he said, I'm not going to fail you. He goes, I know you're trying. You show up every day. You don't cut my class. So I'm going to, and he passed me with a C just for effort. And I mean, it was nice to hear that acknowledgement, right? But yeah, I tried. It's just, of course, now I'm a whiz at math, when it comes to money and how much I got to make and how much am I spending. Now you're a whiz at it when you get older.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Asked a couple of questions if I was a teacher or not. No, I'm not a teacher. Never been a teacher. Although I do have a teacher in the family, and I was that a-hole in the past because we hear teachers don't make enough money. I was that a-hole that said they're never at work. They get 3 months off in summer. They get a week off at Easter, 3 weeks off at Christmas, and then how many holidays do they have off? Every freaking holiday. They never work. So why the hell are we paying the money? My aunt, who's from Virginia, was a teacher. And she never spoke. She's always very soft-spoken. One day she heard me say this. She goes, "Let me tell you." I mean, she jumped down my throat, scared the crap out of me. And ever since then, I had like a little bit more respect. Well, a lot more respect for the position.
Yeah, and we've heard nothing but that since the pandemic, hit hard here.
Yeah,
and the stories of teachers working around the clock, late, just like Vito said, late into the night, early the next morning, very little sleep. Sometimes dealing more with your kids at schools than where you are with your own family.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, they put a lot of their heart into this, and it takes a special person to do that.
Oh, and it does, especially to be dealing with screaming brats all damn day. Oh.
In case you girls didn't know, you ladies, Bam is not a fan of children.
I hate children. I cannot stand them.
So it's funny that he's here in this conversation right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I say that I don't want them in my life, and when I hear him screaming in a grocery store, I'm the first one to yell, "Shove a blank in its mouth," or whatever, or I'll yell, "Kill it!"
Oh my gosh!
But at the same point, I'm the first one. Do you need help? Are you lost? I mean, just tell me really quick in like 3 words what the hell you need, because I don't need the whole 10 mile long story. Just, let's go. What do you need? All right, let's go. Other than that, I can't stand those sons of bitches. I hate children. Oh, I hate them with passion.
Oh my
They're
God.
not for everybody. They're really not.
No, they're not, obviously.
Point taken, Bam.
I'm too selfish.
They understand.
I'm too selfish.
On the other side of that, Bam does have a big heart, and if something is needed or someone is in need, he's the first one there to help.
Yeah, like when they're selling Girl Scout cookies, I'm right there.
I need a new house.
If you're selling Girl Scout cookies, I'll help you out. If you're selling popcorn for Boy Scouts, I'll help you out. If you're selling chocolate, I'll help you out.
Yeah, I do that when the fundraiser. Do they still do the fundraiser where they sell the chocolate bars in that little box?
They
It
do,
depends
but
on
usually it's the
campus.
parents selling those.
Oh,
Depends on the campus, yeah.
I always buy I either buy the whole box or I'm like, here's $20. Keep the box and keep selling.
Yeah.
I do. I can't. Yeah.
They're always having a fundraise. I mean, not this past year as much, right? But if you stop and think about it, have you ever seen a football player selling those chocolate bars?
Nope,
Oh.
never. They don't fundraise, but they expect everything handed to them. All those damn Karens on the football team.
But
That
it
is
is
so
handed to them. It is handed to them. That's why they expect it.
Mm-hmm.
They're programmed.
Wow.
They're programmed to expect it.
Oh, we lost Manny.
Oh wow! I didn't
Happens
know we
sometimes.
could lose them.
It happens sometimes. The
really?
hotel that he's at has really crappy internet.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Internet here. I asked for it. He put me in the location. It took him 20 minutes to make sure I had the right room with a good location in proportion, in relation to where the internet little thing is outside. Apparently not. So.
Wow!
Tell them
So
to
you
upgrade
always
their
have to
equipment.
ask for that.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, me too. It's called test phobia. Thank you. It is a
Oh.
thing.
So I have that. Yeah, it is a thing. I have it really bad. And like when I was taking my test to get certified to be a diagnostician, you can ask Ida. I literally was in tears, like in like full on panic. Like I was freaking out.
On her way to take the test.
Oh yeah, it's like you have a panic attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very common. It does happen. It does happen.
She literally prayed with me on the phone because I was like losing it. And so I sympathize with my kids when I see them nervous. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Like when the star's coming, this doesn't determine or tell me who you are. Just do your best. Don't worry. Don't stress. Don't you have to try. I'm not one that tells my kids, well, you need to pass and you need to, no. You need to do your best. That's it. Just do your best. This isn't gonna determine your life. Just do your best. Take one question at a time. Take a deep breath, and you're gonna be fine.
And on the other hand, you tell them that's why you got to study, because when this comes up, you'll know everything. Don't cheat. Don't study and say that you did, because then you're gonna get caught when it comes time for the little quiz.
Yep.
I got a real stupid question. Okay, so I'm guessing that when y'all went to school and college, 1 + 1 was actually 2. Now 1 + 1 is like 30. How the hell does that work now? I mean, it makes no effing sense to me.
Yeah, a lot of us teachers wish we could go back to the basics.
Because the 1 + 1 = 30 now. It doesn't work like that in my damn checkbook.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that they have that make it very, very confusing for kids. And it's like, that's not going to be used in real life. Why are we trying to teach them that?
Let alone when they get home and ask their parents, they're like, we don't know what the F you're talking about.
Yeah. And they learned that during the pandemic. They were like, what is this?
Ay, maestra, yo no sé cómo le hace usted.
So are you not allowed to teach the old regular stuff? I mean,
it's part of the curriculum.
Yes, Nadia.
All right. It's thank you. Hang on. My dad was a librarian for McAllen. My mom was a teacher, so I was always around books and encouraged to read.
I hate reading. I don't have the patience to sit that damn long.
Hey, reading, he hates kids. Yeah, and he's no wonder he's dropping F-bombs all over the place all the time. Just an angry guy, aren't you?
I am. But hey, I got beautiful teeth.
Yeah, no, that's not random at all, is it? Ida, Vero, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I know it's a late night, and I'm sure you got more stuff to do, and I won't keep you from that. thank you for hanging out with us and enlightening me.
Yeah, I had a great time.
I'm getting some messages here and direct messages saying, please come back and continue more. This is we need to
some more sad news.
More sad news. Yeah.
Yeah, we've already thrown your superintendent on the ground. We've rolled the semi slowly over the top of him. Now we need to start backing it up.
Yeah.
There you go. Anytime y'all want to talk about him, hey, I'm on board.
Yeah, I wonder if he would be up for a discussion. I would gladly ask him to come and talk about things. And yeah, he probably won't, I'm sure. But I can at least say I tried and see. Let's get your side of the story, and what's going on here.
And I guarantee you, like your principals and things, they don't sit in their office all day wearing a mask. Why the hell do you have to sit in your classroom all day and wear one?
Yeah, no, actually, they don't sit in their office wearing. They're walking around the campus with a mask.
In their hand.
No, they have them on. Well, mine does.
Ladies, have a great night. Thank you again. We'll be in touch, and who knows, maybe if you're up for a part 2 at some point, as long as we have a direction to go with. And I am going to reach out that way, see what kind of responses I get. I'm gonna.
I would be very interested.
Yeah,
definitely.
I would be very interested to find out if you even got a response.
I will reach out tomorrow, and I will keep you guys posted as to how that goes.
Do that.
Nice.
Vero, thank you so much for coming. Have a great night.
Thanks, ladies. As always, peeps, one nation, one people.
You can get you go to mannysmerch.com and you can get a BAM says one planet, one people.
Yep. I did just say one nation, didn't I?
You said one nation. Yeah, it's one planet.
That's because my damn friend Steve, who's a radio host here in town, always goes one nation, one people. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you need to think bigger. One planet, one people. That's why I say one planet, one people. So I don't know why I did Steve tonight, but one planet, one people.
There you go. Find it at Manny's.
Whoa,
what was that? I just got like Sybil in my head. Who was talking first?
Y'all have merch?
Yes.
Mannysmerch.com. That's right.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we have like little onesies for babies. But he will not put, because I always say my best friend Nancy. I always call her my best friend Nancy, and then I go, she a hoe. So he has this Bamsism that's a she a hoe, but it's like a farming hoe. But he will not put it on a onesie, and I so want it on a onesie.
I had to put the tool because I'm not going to put the word hoe there. The printing company, the t-shirt company won't print that. So I put and the garden tool is there. And you can get that on a onesie. You can get that on a cup or a mug, coffee cup, a hat, whatever you like. All kind of stuff there. Pajamas. I got pajamas.
Wow.
Canvas bags.
Go to mannysmerch.com. It's all there. Enjoy.
I'm gonna go check it out.
It goes from very petite sizes to very, very large sizes, like
very cool tie-dye shirts that's got the Manny Behind the Mic logo. The tie-dye shirts are really cool.
They really are really cool.
Ladies, have a great night. Thank you once again for visiting with us tonight.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. I enjoyed you.
Oh, thanks.
Have a good night, everyone. Good night.